I fully agree with you. I will go to the next item that came up.
Hmm.
So, as of now, uh, about 2 months or more, but in the comments, I saw mostly indication that it's 2 months.
Hmm.
The employee, the Nairobi County government have not been paid. And again, I think one of the reason is because of the bloated budget, because I think 55% is just unmanageable for the
Yeah.
county to handle, I would say so. In addition to that, I think maybe disbursement from the national government might be an issue. But then again, we cannot negate the fact that just 55% is something
Hmm.
that is not manageable. But also, in addition to that, I just want to paint this picture.
Right.
Last month, I believe, the lecturers were on strike. A few months ago,
Hmm.
uh, county employees, the nurses, the doctors of Kiambu County were on strike.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is something that cuts across Kenya. It's either the teachers are on strike, the
Right.
lecturers are on strike.
Hmm.
Everyone else is not being paid. But is there a
Right.
point you've ever the MPs have not been paid? Is there a point you've ever had the president has not been paid their salary?
Yeah.
Is there a point you've ever had that the county government, the MCAs and the governor, they've not received their salary? It is
Yeah.
everyone that is not a priority
Hmm.
except themselves. They will ensure their needs are covered and they go up and above to pay themselves on time, to pay themselves in excesses. But then now the rest of us, we are left
Yeah.
there and it's just an issue of, oh, this time it's the nurses, the next time it's the doctors, the next time it's the lecturers. And now these city employees, they've not been paid for over 2 months. Bonnie, do you think, because I'm looking at countries like New Zealand,
Hmm.
in countries like Sweden, they have a
Hmm.
law which says that the frontline workers, in case of a budget crisis, they
Hmm.
have priority of payment. Do you
Right.
think as a country we need to consider, because you're a leader, you're supposed to be someone of service. Your
Right.
needs are not supposed to be a priority. My needs are
Yeah.
supposed to be your priority. Do you think as a country we should advocate for laws that ensure frontline workers like nurses, like doctors and teachers get priority in payment, and
Hmm.
then these government officials can only pay themselves after the other people who are crucial to the economy are paid?
Yeah. I mean, so the situation you're describing is really shameful when you think about it, because it's a symbol of what's wrong with our country. It's a symbol of upside down priorities.
Mm,
How does a city, or how does a government, a county government with 33 billion in revenue, end up not paying its workers 2 months? How is that possible? Um, Again, we spent a lot of time in the last session talking about these spending bills, right? I told you the fact that all of a sudden Nairobi has a bill for 6.3 billion that needs to be sent to lawyers, for lawyers, right? So whatever function that 6.3 billion was supposed to serve in terms of helping citizens, all of a sudden
mm,
there's a hole, right? Because now we have to decide: do we go and build a hospital? Do we pay our workers, or do we pay these four lawyers, right? That's what's
yes,
happening. You know, revenue is not, revenue doesn't change. If you come into a year and you're going to run a government and you know that your revenue that is going to be 33 billion, that number is not going to change. But what's going to happen is, or what impacts your ability to serve, is how you actually decide to spend this money. If you come in and
yes,
decide that you're going to spend 55% of it on salaries for 0.3% of the population, the natural consequence of that, you won't have money to pay nurses. You won't have people, you're not gonna have the money to do all these other things that you want to do. The challenge that I see, and quite frankly, the most frustrating thing for me, is why leaders are behaving this way, and then they get surprised. So, I mean, if you spend a 55% of your revenue on salaries, when you know the law says that the maximum is 35%, you've taken 6.7 billion. And that 6.7 billion is what needed to be used to pay a doctor, to pay a nurse, right? Why is it that then we are surprised when we get to a point where there's not enough money to pay these people, right? So I
yes,
am not surprised that we're having these issues, because when I look at government, I see the incompetence when it comes to handling resources. this is a natural consequence of that. When you spend 6.7 billion on salaries illegally, by the way, over and above the legal limit, and then you spend 6.3 billion on attorney fees for 4 lawyers. Just between those two together, you're looking at almost 13 billion. Well, 13 billion was supposed to be to go to pay nurses and doctors. All of a sudden, you don't have that money. So this is not
Yes.
surprising, but it tells you all you need to know about the lack of leadership and the lack of common sense and business and counter government affairs. Because if you, in the private sector, you're not going to be able to do this. You